A man was sleeping deeply when he was suddenly licked awake by a goat. He removed his eye mask and almost panicked completely. He realized he was trapped on a cliff located at a height of 10,000 meters in the sky, with a deep abyss filled with swirling clouds below. He looked upward and saw that his parachute had become tangled in the branches of a tree, which was the reason he had luckily survived. However, the entire cliff wall was covered in smooth ice. How on earth could he climb to the top of the mountain? The man quickly thought of a solution. He pulled out a dagger, took off his shoes, and stabbed the dagger into the sole of a shoe, so that the blade protruded from the tip of the shoe. In this way, a pair of simple climbing boots was made. Then he held a dagger tightly in each hand, pushed hard with his feet, and used the momentum to swing his body toward the rock wall. He used the daggers to pierce into the soft mineral rock, allowing himself to climb upward as quickly as possible. But he had only climbed less than 3 meters when the smallest dagger could not bear the man's weight and slid down rapidly along with the parachute rope. To make matters worse, the withered tree trunk that was bearing his weight also began to crack. When the man saw this, he did not dare to delay any longer. He quickly turned around, found a support point with his right foot, and used the dagger to desperately cut the rope. As the withered tree trunk was about to break, he accelerated his movements with his hands. At the moment when the tree trunk broke, the man luckily cut through the rope and avoided disaster. At this point, he was standing on extremely smooth mineral rock. If he made even the slightest movement, the only outcome waiting for him would be to fall and be smashed to pieces. In this critical moment, he suddenly noticed the goat that had licked him earlier. So he imitated the goat's posture, quickly using his hands and feet to prop against the two sides of the cliff, and then carefully inched his body upward. But unexpectedly, as soon as he climbed onto a section of the cliff, the icy surface under his feet suddenly collapsed. He was so frightened that he frantically rushed forward. In this way, by stepping on the goat's back all the way, he finally grabbed the edge of the cliff. He thought that as long as he climbed up, he could get out of trouble. But unexpectedly, a male goat was staring at him intently. After realizing he was not a fellow goat, the goat immediately charged at him with its head lowered. The man almost fell off the cliff. He quickly stabilized his body and used his hands and feet together to grip the rock wall, trying to climb upward. But the goat launched a second attack. The man had a sudden inspiration. He grabbed the goat's horns on its head. When the goat felt the danger, it instinctively stepped backward. The man seemed to have grasped a lifeline and refused to let go no matter what. Because of the male goat's upward pulling force, the man was quickly dragged onto the top of the cliff and lay safely on the stone ground. At this time, he quickly looked at the male goat, afraid that it would launch another attack, so he quickly reached out his hand to soothe its emotions.